And welcome back inside the Backstage Pass. Always a busy week when you're doing a lot of shows. Our thanks to Dan Smalley for coming on talking about his new album, the state of country music out there too as well. And right now, the state of country music is very good because she's in it and she's got a kick-ass song out there across all these streaming platforms here on HighTideCountry.net and our friends at KKTC True Country 99.9, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. It's got sass, it's got attitude. And if you don't like it, well, I have no hope for you out there. No, I'm just kidding. It's called Rodeo Queen. It's Casey Johns here on the program. How you doing?
I'm amazing, Brandon. How are you?
It's good to see you. It's been since last CRS since we chatted?
Yeah. I know. Isn't that wild? It's crazy how the time flies.
Second quarter of 2024, and somebody was saying today, can you believe it's almost halfway through this year? I have no idea where it's gone.
I know. I haven't even done my taxes yet. That's how fast it's gone.
Hey, the April 15th deadline is just that deadline. If you could always get it extended, you might want to do that too as well. For those that haven't, make sure she reminds us. There's your public service announcement of the day. Do your taxes, no doubt about it, from Casey Johns. Hey, tell us, since we last talked, a lot going on, man. This single is out there across the platforms. I mentioned it's got sass, it's got attitude. You've got a little bit of everything with Rodeo Queen. Talk about this one, the making of it, the production, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, so we wrote this song back in December with my buddies Tim Angston and Brett Trout, and they're just amazing. Brett Trout is a great lyricist, and Angston is a really great person to have in the room with hooks and stuff. So it was really, really great team for all of us coming together. And honestly, it was our first write that we all got together, and it was kind of just we were kind of filling each other out. And I came up with a couple of titles. I really haven't released anything in over a year before this song, because I was really trying to write on my own and try to figure out what sound I wanted to go into this new direction. Mm-hmm. And honestly, just come up with some new flavor of music. And so I came up with this title, Rodeo Queen, and mostly because my mom and dad, that's pretty much how I grew up. I grew up in the rodeo world. And my mom was a barrel racer. My stepdad was a bull rider. They fell in love. And my mom was a rodeo queen back in the 70s. And so that's kind of how this story kind of developed into what it is.
Love this song, too. There's so much of everything going on there. It just takes you on a roller coaster ride. Like I said, we played it this morning on KKTC during our call-in, too. But how tough was that going through kind of that, I don't want to say downspell, but just kind of finding out more of your sound and who you wanted to be, what type of music you put out? How challenging was that?
Honestly, I think it was mostly just being out on the road with the boys. I mean, all of last year, I mean, we were on the road. I mean, we did over 200 dates last year, and really it was just being out on the road and finding what kind of sound I really wanted to go into this new direction. And I love rock and roll music. I love country music. I love old country. I love new country. I'm from Memphis, so I love blues. And I think I just wanted to incorporate all of that into this new sound, into this direction that I'm going. And I'm really, really happy I did, because I'm people have been so kind and generous to Rodeo Queen, and I'm just so excited for what we got coming up next. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, speaking of that, too, you guys are about to hit the road. You mentioned Texas before the show. We were chatting a little bit, too. Big tour, radio tour, things down there. This has got to be exciting when you take the single, play some shows, get on the radio tour. I miss the days where artists just would come to the studio and, like I said, play things, talk about stuff, too, because that's that old style of radio that I grew up with back when we had disc jockeys, which I do miss DJs out there too. That's why I became one of my own and put my own stuff out there. But loving live music and this big radio tour. Tell everybody about this.
I'm so excited. I'm pretty old school too. So I love going into the stations and actually sitting down, talking about music, and just meeting the radio DJs, because to be honest, they work so hard and they love artists. They want to help in any way they can. And that's why I love country radio and I love Texas radio. And I think that it's so important to go in and to meet these guys. So I can't wait to bring them a bottle of whiskey and bring them some vinyls and bring them some hats. And it's going to be fun to talk about the new single.
I love it too. Rodeo Queen across all the platforms out there. All right, let's backtrack a little bit to, and I got to catch up because I have to, especially the listeners out there too on the new stations. We're there April of 2022. I know we touched on this, but for the new stations, they may or may not know. Thunder comes out. A Whiskey Break is on there, and then Wrong Side of Goodbye, and so many great songs on this record. Great body of work. I know this was an album in the making you had talked about for a long time to get those songs out there too, because it wasn't just one of those overnight success things. These probably written several years back, and you got to be pleased with this body of work in this album.
I really was so happy with this. Billy Smiley produced that record, and he and I just made. We still do. We make such a great team, and he's just been great to me. I mean, we write together all the time, and yeah, we pretty much wrote for this record for about 2 years before we finally put the record out, and yeah, I was so proud of this record.
When you look at a song like "Wrong Side of Goodbye," we've all been there too, at least to some form or fashion there too, looking at it through different facets in life, relationships, such things such as that. I always believe in a song like that, or a song in particular, setting the tone for the rest of the record, because I feel like as a country music, not just a radio guy, but also just a fan of the industry and a fan of good songs, it's important for a song like that to set the tone for the rest of the album.
Absolutely, and I think that was pretty much the beginning of the sound that I wanted, and the sound in the direction that I'm going. I wanted this rock and roll sound with some pedal steel, and just something different to kind of challenge myself. I wanted to kind of go in this rock and roll realm, and I think "Wrong Side of Goodbye" was definitely that stepping stone of being like, this is what I want to do. And yeah, that was which is so surprising. We didn't release that song as a single, but I kind of wish we did, because
Mhm.
I really love that song. I hopefully we'll get to release that one again, and maybe put it on the next record. I don't know. Maybe do a reversion of it.
Love it too. Sometimes those songs, like you said, they hit, and you just want it. You love it so much, you got to re-release it. No doubt about it. I love the fact that we just saw the ACM Awards last week. Did you get a chance to watch a little bit of the show?
No, but I got to go back on TikTok and watch a bunch of it.
Hey, at least you saw some. And I know there's people who didn't watch anything of it, but I will say this: one of the best shows I've seen in a while. And the cool thing is, I mean, Lainey Wilson, she's doing it all
Oh,
right now too, from a badass in country music too. I had her on the program back before this blow up, was like December of 2020. Told her on the air she was going to be just big time, and of course she remains humble, one of the kindest people I could ever meet. Talk about her just surge in this women's empowerment, or this girl power movement. How great this is to see.
I think it's really amazing. I obviously don't know Lainey personally, but I've heard her story and how much. I mean, she got to the point where after 10 years of being in town, she was like, I just want to throw in the towel. And I
Mhm.
think a lot of us artists start to feel that way. We start to feel like, 10 years in, and you're like, oh, should I keep going, or should I go back home? You know what I mean? So it's been really amazing to watch her journey, and how she's been so successful, and especially for women in country music. I mean, she's paving a way for us women out there. So I love her. I think she's amazing.
And not just for Lainey too, Casey, but all these other ladies. I mean, my goodness, I can't recall it being this saturated in a good way from so many great artists out there. You can name them all on two hands right now, because this Megan Maroney, Ashley McBride, Carly Pierce, anywhere you want to go with this, Ashley Cook, Hannah Ellis. It's a great time to be a female in country music.
It really is, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
I love it too so much. Talk about "Confused," which was on that Thunder record too, and you guys had the radio version put on there, which was fantastic. Love that song. Love the message it sent to listeners out there.
Yeah, we wrote. I wrote this with Tim Angston and Tim Baumgartner, who I'm on the road with right now. Tim Angston is my bass player. Timmy B is my guitar player, and so we write a lot together. And this was one of the songs we wrote during COVID when everything shut down. This was definitely a good old heartbreak song, where I think everybody can kind of relate to during COVID. You were either getting married or getting divorced during that time. So I think a lot of people were really relating to this song, and we were so proud of the success that this song had. It reached number 89 on the country road music charts, and so that kind of kind of opened the map for me a little bit with that song. So I loved that song. It was great. I was very grateful that people were generous to that song.
Talk about "Whiskey Break," another one of my favorites out there too. I know you got a chance to work with some great people on that particular song. It was also on the Thunder record at the time. Another great song, a favorite of mine.
Oh man, well they say write what you know, and whiskey.
Hmm.
Hopefully I know. So no, this song was inspired by Mr. Timmy B, who plays guitar for me, and he always says I work the band too hard. That we need a whiskey break in life sometimes. And
Hmm.
I'm like, you know what? That's a good title for a song. We wrote this one. It was featured in a motion picture last summer, and that song has been really really good to us as well. And then it gave me the opportunity to brand my own whiskey last year, so it's definitely opened up a lot of doors for me as well with that song.
I like that too as well. And speaking of branding your own whiskey, what's it called?
It's called Thunder. The name of the
Thunder.
record.
All right, name of the record. How you like that? All right, so I guess it's coming to a city near you. Thunder
Yep, and you can
Whiskey.
get it online. Yep.
Online too. All right, I like that too as well. And because I'm a whiskey connoisseur, again, sponsored by Bangtail Whiskey, which is out there in Nashville and of course all over the place with our good friend Brandon Bing out there. So whiskey connoisseurs, gotta love it too as well. Let's go across the pond, take a little question over there. David, appreciate you guys tuning in over there. Can Casey tell me which artists have inspired her music and which songs do you enjoy singing on the guitar? Good question.
Yeah, I think I was inspired by a bunch of different artists. Honestly, I grew up listening to a lot of 90s country and a lot of old country because my granddad loved old country, and then a lot of rock and roll because my mom would always have these rock and roll albums, just these vinyls sitting around. And so, yeah, pretty much all female 80s rock music. I love Sheryl Crow. She's my favorite, mostly because she does rock and she does blues and she does country and she does all of that. And so I'm really inspired by her. Some of my favorite songs to play on guitar, probably, I really am enjoying a band called Pretty Reckless right now. And they've been around for a while, but they're kind of a rock and roll band. I love playing their stuff. So yeah, they're pretty much my favorite right now.
Love it too. Nothing off that record too, which is very just a beautifully done. Thunder was called Maybe. It was Memphis. You mentioned being there, Memphis, Tennessee. Love that town. So many cool things. A great barbecue in that town, no doubt too. And just it does it to you when you go to Memphis. You go to anywhere in Tennessee. It's just a great time to be a part of that. How did this one get started? I just love this song. It's awesome.
Yeah. So like you said, I'm from Memphis. I grew up a Mississippi girl right outside of Memphis, and honestly, we were trying to find covers for the record, and this song was a song that I've played about 1,000 times down on Lower Broadway, and I just have always loved this song. And so this was one we were like, you know what? I think we should put our own like Tom Petty spin on this one, and that's pretty much what we did. We had a little Tom Petty rock and roll to it, and yeah, I got to record this one, and then it was really cool. About I think it was last year or 2 years ago, I actually got to meet Pam Tillis, and she was talking about how she was grateful we recorded the song. And so that was a really cool experience, but I'm really, really happy we did that one because I don't think that's a song that really gets covered that often, like recorded. It gets played downtown a ton and played out a ton, but nobody's recorded that one. So I was excited to do that one.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to say hello to her because Pam Tillis is actually coming on the show this week, and I'm going to say hi from Casey Johns, and we'll talk about that one being the Thunder record too as well, because Pam's talking about her Glitz and Glamour tour with Lori Morgan. So we happened to just get a phone call the other day. Well, Pam Tillis could come on the show anytime. We've had her before. We'll do it again. And so, yeah, we'll do this. Maybe it was Memphis and talk about that one too, since it was just a terrific song she made famous too out there. Again, Thunder across all the platforms, Rodeo Queen out there too as well. Dean, I'm going to get to your comments coming back. I knew it'd be a busy show anytime you have Casey Johns. It is a busy show here on the Backstage Pass. We'll get to some more comments too as well. And, of course, some friends out there too. But, of course, CMA Fest coming up June 6th to the 9th. We're going to be there broadcasting live coming up there from Fanfare X inside the Music City Center, all made possible by these sponsors you're about to hear from too as well. There's like 7 stages. Casey knows all about this. Music on every corner, the Ascend Amphitheater, all the action at Nissan Stadium. Download that CMA Fest Connect app right now too and get the lineups and the schedules. And, of course, check out CMAFest.com, made possible by these sponsors, and we'll be live inside that Music City Center the 6th, 7th, and 8th. And we'll be backstage at the Grand Ole Opry Sunday, June the 9th, Sunday Morning Country. Guess who's hosting? Brenda Lee is hosting.
Oh, what? That's amazing.
We'll be there, yes, backstage at the Opry, having a good time. William Lee and the Goldens. William Lee, of course, William Lee Golden, the Oak Ridge Boys, the Isaacs. Let's see who else is there. Out of John Barry. It's going to be fun. Barbara Fairchild, Jonathan Bond. It'll be exciting there, too, to be backstage at the Opry while the music is going on, too, as well. Just have to send some pictures out there, too, and you got to stay tuned for more here on the station. I love this. Dean, I'm going to go to the comment right here. I love this. I can totally hear you singing a cover if it makes you happy. I like that too as well.
I love that song.
he says put Michigan on the list too as well if you know Texas.
Man, we got to go to Michigan. We haven't been to Michigan. That sounds fun.
We'll take a time out, a word from Bangtail Whiskey, of course, out there too as well. Get your order in at bangtail.com. And of course, our friends at the CadenGordonShow.com, today's best country mix. Come back, talk about a couple of more sponsors and resume the conversation here with Casey Johns. It is the Backstage Pass. Stay tuned for more.
The Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix, is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here with KC Johns on the program. Don't forget, coming up June the 1st in Fredericksburg, we're going to be part of this great event, live music at the Crockett House Beer Garden. Check them out there. Great night of music, man. If you love just Texas country and country in general, the State Line Band, Mo Bandy, the legend, and of course, Wade Hayes will be out there too as well. It's on North Crockett Street in Fredericksburg, Texas. Show's going to start at 7:30. Doors open at 6:30. Check them out, FullCircleMomentsLLC.com, offering that unique entertainment experience for music lovers by providing live music entertainment that fosters faith, family, friends, and fun out there. Excited to be a part of that. And of course, hey, we talked about the Opry Sunday Morning Country, the best out there in country Christian music, JonathanBond.com. Check out our friend out there too for more good things too. Hey, I got to ask you about Famous, because I know it's been a while since we had talked, since last CRS. We mentioned there at the top of the show back here with KC Johns. What a great song that you put out 2022. I love this title of this song.
Man, this song was so fun. I didn't write this one, but #1 Texas artist, writer out there, Mr. Randy Morrison, wrote this with a bunch of other really amazing artists, and Georgia Miles, Bailey Ray. So the song was pitched to me, and when you hear it, it's originally a love song. And the way that I connected with this song was the lyrics are, "You make me feel famous." And I didn't really take that as a love song. I kind of took that with the people that we go out on the road with, and the people that come up to us, and the people that are just so good to us, and they put us up and they help us out on the road and they support us, and they make me feel that way. So I connected to that as a love song to the people that are out there with me on the road. And so I loved this song. This was a blast to shoot the video. We went out to Wisconsin and shot a bunch of live footage from shows we had out there. And it was a blast.
Well, you showed a new side of yourself too as well with this one, July of 2022, and I'm not sure if we can say this on the air, but I will say she knows exactly where I'm talking with this, and I don't want to get in trouble or get FCC, especially with it being on radio, KKTC. So, but I'll just say this: go look for the title out there too, but it's all also in parentheses. It says "Nothing in Between." What you see is what you get. I'm not sure I can say this on the air, but the song is out there too. Tell us about this one, because this really shows a really cool side of you too, that rock side, and at the same time, I think this song really fits your sound, and this had to be fun to just really like lay it down, like just put the track out there, right?
It was so fun. I love that you brought this up too, because when we were actually putting in the title, we thought, you know what, country music is going to hate me right now because we can't put the actual title. We have to call it Nothing in Between. So we started kind of researching, the actual title of the song is Nothing in Between. So I was like, thank God we can put this out and just put that on the title. But this was a blast to re-record this. I've sang this song 1,000 times down on Lower Broad and at our shows, and it was being requested so much that I was like, man, we should just do our own version of this. And so that's what we did. And yeah, we love doing this song. It's a blast.
That's the cool thing. And I know, you're a performer on stage. You love getting out there singing for the crowds too at the same time. And, watch a lot of these shows on TV now too, just to kind of scout and see the latest talent out there. But I love watching The Voice and things like American Idol, because it's cool to get really that those platforms can give an artist a platform they may not otherwise have to stand on and kind of get their artistry out there. Some great things about those shows. And I remember hearing from several of the legends on there, between coaches and everybody who is a if you will, and they talk about stage presence. You either have it or you don't. It's not something they can really teach. How important is that to you when you're playing in front of a live audience, that stage presence?
Extremely. I think that honestly, a lot of what I've learned was from cruise ships. I got hired as a cruise ship entertainer when I was in my early 20s, and I did cruise ship entertaining for 5 to 6 years, and just kind of fell in love with that. And I learned so much with performing with the band and how to talk to an audience. And so I really have to thank cruise ships for really kind of almost training me in a way, I guess. But they kind of mentor you on how to speak more clearly on stage. And honestly, when I moved to Nashville, I think it was more about people really just want you to be yourself. Like, they just want you to be genuine. They want you to be honest. And I think if you just get on stage and you're just genuine and honest and true to who you are, people will love that. So
I love it too. And I love this. There's a question we don't get all the time, or at least a rumor he hears here. Mark says, new tour van. Have you had a chance to name it? Okay, it's good stuff.
I think the van is already named. I think her name is Catherine, and we are very excited to take the van out. We just got the van last week, so we're gonna tour with it this week for the first time. Wish us luck. We have no problems.
Fingers crossed right there too. Dean comes back. Yep, I've been to that venue. I've never seen her there, but I've seen concerts there, and that is a phenomenal. Blake's Bar out there at Old Red, man. I cannot wait to get out there and just to see you in person, like I said, and meet you and talk and have a drink and come to a live show. I'm looking very much forward to that. All right, one of my favorite musicians. I love collaborations in the industry. You got to do one with Stephen Cade, who's a good friend of mine, a good friend of the show. Shore Feels Good, like SHORE, was a single that you guys put out there 2021, I believe that was. Talk about this one and just the making of how this came together with Stephen.
This was so much fun. First of all, I love Steven. I think he's amazing. He's an amazing artist and just a genuine human being. This was a blast to record with him. I was so happy we went to the studio. Billy Smiley also produced this one as well. And this was just so much fun to write. And I mean, it's a good summer song, you know? So me and Steven, we had a blast.
I love the song, and all these songs are out there available for streaming too as well. And of course, if you missed that ACM Awards show, you can always check it out on Prime Video out there too as well. Recap it too. And I think my favorite part of that, Casey, had to be the tribute to Toby Keith and just what he meant to country music, and what Jason Aldean to step out there and do that. Should have been a cowboy. I thought that was really cool to see. Just talk about the loss of a badass in country music, 33 number one hits. And like, he lived his life the way everybody wants to live it, went out how he wanted to go out, and just left his mark on country music.
He really did. My favorite song by him would probably have to be How Do You Like Me Now? And I don't know if that was his first hit, but it was one of his earliest hits. And man, I love that song so much. Toby Keith has just left such a beautiful mark on country music. And he's going to be totally remembered in this industry for a really long time.
And I miss him so much too. But like I said, I appreciate that tribute. Glad they did that. The ACMs fit that in. Jason Aldean, just kudos to you, man, for a great job. Well done out there too to sing that song. It should have been a cowboy. I love how you slowed it down, kind of made it a different arrangement, different feel, and just a great time. And of course, the Reba, just one of the best hosts and the legend in country music. She did a great job hosting it too as well. If you've not heard her new single out there, you need to go check it out, because it's definitely a catch you on fire. No pun intended out there too. It's a great song. More with Casey Johns. We'll take a timeout for a friend's CMA Fest coming up June 6th to 9th. We'll be there backstage at the Opry June the 9th for Sunday Morning Country, the 42nd annual, hosted by Brenda Lee, and of course doing some interviews, having a good time, hearing live music, and at Fanfare X inside the Music City Center from about 10 to 3, 10 to 4 every day. And of course, we'll be out there at the stages catching some good stuff at the Ascent Amphitheater. The lineups are packed. Stages are full. The lineups, the schedules, it's amazing out there. CMAFest.com, and download the CMA Fest Connect app now, all made possible by the sponsors you're going to hear from. And more from Casey Johns here on the Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com, and of course out there KKTC True Country 99.9, our syndicated stations, and HighTideCountry.net. It's Bangtail Whiskey. Get your order in now at bangtail.com. Stay tuned.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
The Caden Gordon Show is a 2-hour show playing the best in country music. So check it out at thecadengordonshow.com. Again, that is thecadengordonshow.com.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And, of course, you're looking for that best in country Christian music out there. Check him out, our good friend Jonathan Bond. He'll be there at Sunday Morning Country, Sunday, June the 9th at the Grand Ole Opry. We'll be backstage talking to him and a whole slew of artists out there, too, as well. JonathanBond.com, too. And speaking of concerts out there, our friends at Full Circle Moments have one June the 1st up there in Fredericksburg, Texas. They call it wine country out there. So if you ever want a good glass of wine and a good show out there, too, Texas, if you don't know it, Then get out there. Wade Hayes, Mo Bandy, the State Line Band coming up. All great music in one night. Fun for the whole family, and tickets, Full Circle Moments, LLC.com. It's live music at the Crockett House Beer Garden. And, of course, the offer unique. I'm telling you, it's just a great atmosphere. Merlene Cox does a great job with the company. It's great entertainment, experience, fun for the whole family. Music lovers, they provide the live music entertainment that fosters faith, family, friends, and fun. Back here with Casey Johns as CMA Fest approaches. She's heading to Texas. I'll be in Nashville in a couple of weeks. And a whole lot of good shows. Blanco Brown coming up tomorrow here on the podcast. His new single, Snapshot, came out last Friday off the new EP, Cedar Walls and Whiskey. And don't forget to check out KC's new single, Rodeo Queen, across all those platforms, and so many great shows coming up this week. All right, let's have a little fun with Rapid Fire, because I love doing this. And
Love it.
whether it's America's fastest growing game show, I don't know, but we're going to call it that, because people just, you can't have an episode without doing it. For me, it's baseball, it's sports, it's something the kids watching, because now she's getting into a new series. What is this, Netflix, called Unicorn Academy? I'm like, oh, unicorns, whatever. Okay, let's just watch it. For you, binge watching, what are you getting into lately? A series or just a good show?
Oh gosh. I don't even, to be honest, I haven't watched much TV lately, but I did just watch the documentary on Quiet on Set. So that was kind of the most recent thing I've kind of binged on.
That's a good one too. I really like that one, which is good. I also saw the Bon Jovi part of that documentary with Michael Strahan, which was out there. That was pretty good. So
I heard it's amazing. I got to see that.
That's pretty good out there too. All right, stop in Nashville, restaurant, anything catching the cravings lately? I know for me, I've got like 2 or 3 on my list I've got to try when I go back, because there's like something on every corner now for everybody. But is there something for you that's like doing it right now for a good restaurant in Nashville?
Well, this is really sad, because if I like to just get something super, super quick, I'll just go to Chipotle, which I love. It's my favorite place in the world. But I love going out, obviously, and I love Mexican food. I love chips and queso. So Blanco's has been one of my favorite places downtown.
I got to check that one out. I've not had Blancos. Now, ice cream for there. Are you a sweet? Do you have the sweet tooth? Is it like?
No,
so much?
that's terrible. I actually do not eat sweets. If I'm gonna do sweets, I'll probably do like a smoothie in the mornings. I love like fruit smoothies, but other than that, that's about it.
Which is good out there. All right, I know this one's gonna be a good one. Toppings on a Casey Johns pizza. What go on it? What toppings?
I am so bland. I just like cheese pizza.
Cheese pizza. You know what I'm finding actually more and more now, Casey? That's actually just a good way to have pizza, just without all the gunk on it.
I think it is too. Just plain cheese. You know what my favorite one is though? Margarita pizza.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Man,
I like
it's so good. That's my favorite of all time.
And this Hawaiian now, I'm starting to get into a little bit of pineapple with Canadian bacon. I'm starting to do it a little bit. Yeah.
I haven't had that in a while, but yeah, it's not bad.
A little bit of Hawaiian pizza out there too. All right, goals, aspirations, things you're looking forward to now to build off a Rodeo Queen for the rest of 2024.
Oh my gosh, man. I just want to keep continuing to keep doing this radio tour. We're going to hopefully put out 2 or 3 more singles this year, which I'd love to do. Just continue to keep going out on the road. I mean, we've got a full schedule this entire year, from Norway to Key West to Wisconsin to Texas. So, I mean, we're going all over the map this year. So this year will be fun. I just hope I get to continue to keep meeting great people and keep making great music.
No doubt too. All right. If Casey Johns was not a working musician, what other career path would she have taken?
Oh God. I don't know, because I've done music this is the only job I've ever really had. If I were to do something else, I don't even know. I have no answer.
Just music.
This is really sad. I've never thought about it really. I mean, honestly, you know what? I grew up in the rodeo world. I think honestly, if I wasn't pursuing music, I probably would have, I went to school for web design. So maybe I would be doing, still doing rodeo stuff and still working on web designs and stuff. I don't know.
I like that. Dean has a suggestion here. I'm going to put this on the screen. Whiskey taste tester.
Oh, I do have a bottle.
She's got a bottle of Thunder. All right, watch out.
I do have a bottle. Look at that.
Now you know when I come to Nashville, if I run into you, we got to take a swig of that on the air. We got to just
absolutely. You know what we just got? We just got the little shooter bottles. So I'm gonna have to get you some of those, and that way we can just shoot them.
All right, I like that too as well. Definitely going to talk off air about that too. Will you be in town for CMA Fest? Or you're going to be kind of on the road.
Sadly, I will not be in town for CMA Fest this year. I'm so sad. But you know what? We've got a full schedule out in Wisconsin, so it's going to be a ton of fun.
I'll be, like I said, sending you some pictures of who comes by, and definitely Pam Tillis coming on the show this week. Maybe it was Memphis, big hit for her, and of course, just great. It's a great song out there. Again, all the songs available across all these streaming platforms, and Rodeo Queen, check it out across all those platforms where you guys, Apple Music, Spotify, anywhere that you download or stream music, get those streams up. And hey, so good to reconnect with you, even after 8 months to a year apart of CRS from last year. I hope you enjoyed it. Looking forward to doing this again. And you come back anytime to promote all the music. I love Casey Johns. Love it.
Brandon, it was so nice to see you again, and I can't wait to come back and hang out with you. But hopefully I get to see you again in Nashville soon.
We're going to do that soon in Nashville. No doubt about it, too, as well. Safe travels to Texas down there, too, at the same time. Again, check her out across all the platforms out there, and go download Rodeo Queen. We're back tomorrow. Blanco Brown. We're going to turn it up a notch, the get up, and do a little bit of the dip and the sip and all the stuff there. As Blanco's got a new CD out there, too, as well. New music across all the platforms. Snapshot is the first single off of Cedar Walls and Whiskey. And if you don't remember the Get Up, I don't know what rock you were hitting under, because it was just only the greatest line dance song of all time. You know, he has a permanent spot in the Country Music Hall of Fame for that song.
I believe it.
How successful that tune was. Kaylee Hammett, Claire Dunn, Pam Tillis, and Daryl Worley rounding out the week here on the Backstage Pass. A whole lot of cool things happening here for us here. And, of course, check us out tonight in prime time between 6 and 7 o'clock Mountain Time on KKTC True Country 99.9 via the streaming app, and out there, too, our friends at hightidecountry.net. We'll see you tomorrow. Megan Barker coming by to kick us off the day, batting leadoff, and, of course, Blanco Brown here on the Backstage Pass. We're going to get up here on the show tomorrow here. Again, thanks you guys for listening. Go get Rodeo Queen across all those streaming platforms. Take care. We'll see you soon. Much love.